I just want to give a big shout out to Brian Gardner, aka Fupaa Luvas, and a big thank you for having me on your show, Fupaa Luvas Lounge, Episode 3.
Hey, welcome to the Fupaa Luvas podcast show. This is your host, the Fupaa Lover. This is episode 3, where I feature Angel B, and she talk about how she got in the modeling game and an agency she started. So you might want to check this interview out.
So introduce yourself to the world.
My name is Bridget Wilson, a.k.a. Angel B.
So how was it for you growing up as a child in North Carolina?
Oh man, let me see. It was great. Actually, I had a really good childhood. I grew up like you said. I'm originally from Wilmington, North Carolina. I've been here pretty much all my life. Grew up in the suburbs, 2-parent, family home, very Christian oriented. Actually, my parents were very, very strict. Other than that, I mean, it was awesome. I wouldn't trade anything for in the world. I think most people would look at my life and be like, "Dang, you have like the perfect life." But I mean, overall, it was good. I remember days of just going out like during this heat. Like now it's so hot, you don't even want to. Like the kids now, they stay inside the house. But me growing up down south, I stayed outside. Never was caught inside hardly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how was the atmosphere like though? I mean, is there a lot of things to do, like far as activities and stuff like that in North Carolina?
Yeah. To be honest, well, in my area, because I'm from Wilmington, we're right on the coast of North Carolina. I don't know if you're familiar with North Carolina at all, but it's mostly for us. It's mostly more seasonal because most everything happens in the summertime, like because it's more of a I can't think of the word, tourist area. So we have it's a college town, and there's a lot of retirees here. But in the summertime, people love to come here because we're right near the beach. So it's more family oriented. I would say it has an okay nightlife. If that's your thing, like I said, it's a college town, so a lot of college kids hang out down at the bars and stuff downtown. Other than that, I would say it's mostly family oriented. It's not really, I wouldn't say it's a party city because it's not that at all. But I guess you have a good mixture of both. But in the wintertime, forget about it. It's dead. It's absolutely dead. Most people, they just come for the summer. But after that, it's like nothing else going on.
So is there a lot of BBWs out there?
There is. And the thing about it is, well, I started an agency back in November, and I've been trying to get more local BBWs to come on board and, sign on to my agency. I don't know what it is about the area I'm in. I don't know if they still feel like they can't, or, you know what I'm saying? I guess because I've always been way ahead of my time. So, I've learned to network and reach out to other people because I'm not scared to, you know what I'm saying? I've know a lot of people in New York, down in the Atlanta area. So, there's plenty of BBWs here, most definitely. A lot of talent, a lot of untapped talent. So, again, like I said, I've been trying to reach out to a few here in this area to bring them on board. I'm like, what's up, y'all? I mean, I know the talent is here, and a lot of beautiful BBWs here for sure. But I don't know. I think a lot of them are still stuck in, like the old time, like, where they feel like they're not good enough to do certain things, or they're too big. I'm like, we're in the year 2022. It's like it's time out for that. We're coming out, and we're not going anywhere. So I don't know what's taking them so long to come on board, but yeah.
Okay. So we'll get more in depth about your agency in a few.
Okay. Cool.
So I see that you started out as a nail tech. What made you want to start doing that?
Well, let's see. Oh my goodness, it's been so long. I was single mom. I have 2 sons. My oldest son is 26. My youngest is 12. So when my oldest was, just a kid, he was a baby. He was like 2 years old. I decided, I was like, you know what? I really need to go to school and get some type of trade where I can go straight to work. I do have I have some college, other than that, but excuse me, I needed something that I could do real quick, and like, okay, I need to get a hustle on because I have this child I have to take care of. So, I was like, let me go ahead and go to nail school for 6 months and get out and get to work. So that's what I did. I stuck with it for about 20 years. Like I said, it wasn't easy, but I loved it. It was at the time when I got into it, it wasn't a whole lot of. They were doing nail art. It was more like airbrushing was the thing, but it's not like it was now, But so yeah, that's basically the reason because I had to get to work like quick.
Okay. So were you getting a lot of business doing that?
Absolutely, especially in the beginning. Well, I'll take that back. It took me a minute simply because at that time I was one of the first African American nail techs in my area, and most of the nail techs in this area was either Vietnamese or Korean, the little Vietnamese shops or whatever. So a lot of them had the market pretty much sold up, So I worked for a lot of them. So I got in, they kind of took me under their wing, and I learned a lot of things from them. So as time went on, and I became very, very popular. They were like, oh, the black girl that works in so-and-so. Like, because I'm the only one there at that time. So after a while, I definitely built up a clientele. But after that, as time went on, like I said, I tried to open up my own shop, but then it wasn't successful because there are so many other shops. So it was hard for me to like really compete. So I stuck with it about 20 years. So after that, I was like, okay, it was time for me to retire and do something else. So that's where I'm at now.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So what made you want to take part of the modeling industry?
Oh my goodness, that's a long story in itself. Growing up, I was always real chubby little girl. Always, I've always had issues with I never really had like self-esteem issues, but kids used to bully me. So, and although they bullied me, I still had this desire, like deep down inside, I knew I was going to be a model. Ever since I was like 5 or 6 years old, playing with Barbie dolls, dressing them up and all that stuff. So the thing that really made me like push to go, to really strive after it, I think there was, oh my goodness, without telling my age, it was like probably like in the early 90s or late 80s, there was a magazine that came out called BBW Magazine. And so the first time I saw that, and I saw all the models, on the front page, inside the magazine that looked like me, and I was like, if they could do that, I could see myself as a little girl. I could see myself, being like that. And I was like, okay, if they can do it, then I can most definitely do it.
I never heard that magazine before.
Yeah, like I said, I think it was like one of the first magazines that was out. I'm trying to remember. There was a particular model at the time that was on the cover. That was like my idol. I'm drawing a blank right now, but it was a white model, and she was like very well known. But yeah, that was it was years ago. Like I said, it was one of the very, very, very first.
So seeing her on the cover influenced you to become a model?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. Mhm.
So what did you have to do to get started?
Pretty much what I did was, so like I said, I lived in Wilmington, so I saw there was an open call for a local show called it was Wilmington's Port City the Runway. So they was having an open call, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna try my chances at this and see what's going on. So I went down to the open call and tried out, and they loved my walk or whatever. I was like, okay, so started doing that. Did a lot of local shows over time, and then as time went on, I was like, okay, if I can do the shows, I can, move on. Start doing some photo shoots, working on my posing, and so after that, it was like I just started putting myself out there, networking, getting involved with different groups. I can kind of network with other people and really get in touch with more designers, photographers, and so that's pretty much what I did. And in this business, you really can't be shy. You have to be like a go-getter. So I guess that's exactly what I did. I was like, I'm not going to sit back, and I didn't have a talent agent. I was my own agent, pretty much, independent. So I just went on and just put my name out there. I'm not shy about getting in people's DMs, like, hey, you need a brand ambassador, or hey, you're looking for models. So that's what I did. So that's how I got started.
So besides runway, what else modeling do you do? I mean, like, do you do fashion, print?
Yes. I've done, of course, like I said, fashion, high fashion. I've done print work. I've been published in a few, well, I could say not a few, but probably like about 6 or 7 magazines. I've been published in Queen Behavior magazine, Lucas Vision, The Chic. Oh my goodness, the list goes on and on. So I've done that. Then I've also done some acting. So I've been in a few films. I've done actually not too long ago. I was an extra with Our Kind of People. Not too long ago that was filmed in Wilmington actually. So I did that. So I'm kind of like trying to dabble a little bit into acting. Like I said, I've done some brand ambassadorships. As a matter of fact, I just landed brand ambassadorship with Excess Energy drink.
Okay.
I don't know if you with Sean Felder.
Yeah,
as a matter of fact, shout out to Mr. Sean Felder for giving me this amazing opportunity. I'm really excited. I'm actually looking for him to send me some samples soon so I could, really dive in there and see what this is all about, but I'm excited.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So, like in the beginning stages, were you able to reach out to any models for assistance? And if so, are they any help?
Absolutely. The one thing that I found with the Plus community, I mean, I can't speak on anybody else, but it's been my experience, I guess, because I know how to approach people. So if you put out kindness, of course, you usually get kindness back. So when I reach out to people, I've never had any issue with getting the help I need. Again, especially in the Plus community, because we see that we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to make it. So it's not really any room for too much cattiness. You know what I'm saying? I've seen more sisterhood, I guess you could say, in my experience. Because like I said, I'm a member of a few model groups. So we kind of help each other. If there are any opportunities out there, we let each other know what's going on in the industry. And, so there's no animosity if one person gets a job and nobody else does, and so it's been all love so far as I can see.
So how were you able to pick photographers for you to work with?
Again, I guess the main way, again, I use social media a lot. I if I come across, like in the groups I'm in, and if I see somebody's pictures, a model that I've worked with before, or somebody I know, I'll look through their portfolio if they have it listed on their Facebook page or Instagram. I'll look through it, be like, okay, well, these pictures came out really good, and I'll reach out to them, the model, and be like, okay, well, who is this? Who's your photographer? And I think they did great work. Can you recommend them to me? And then that's usually how I get the ball rolling as far as the photographers I pick. So then once they do that, then I'll reach out to them myself and introduce myself and have them send me like their site so I can see what their pictures are like. So that way I can kind of judge whether or not they're the type of photographer I want to work with. Because I'm very, very picky, and I gotta be picky about who I use to take my pictures. I'm trying to protect my brand. So yeah, that's usually how I go about that. Between Facebook and Instagram are definitely my biggest ways, and of course word of mouth. Word of mouth, you can never fail. Because what kind of person are they? Are they professional? What kind of pictures do they take? They're not going to get me caught up in any kind of craziness. Those are the kind of questions I ask. And when you get to actually get a chance to talk to them, you can kind of you can get a feel for what type of person they are, and if they're gonna, cause usually they're gonna come right out and say something that's gonna give them off if they're shady or creepy in any kind of way.
Okay. So how important is it to keep a good relationship with the photographers?
It's very important. Simply because you don't want to ever burn any bridges. Because you just never know when you might, when you might need to go back to work with a particular person. I'm the type of person I get along with everyone. So. And I've never had anybody complain about working with me, so everybody's like, oh, she's real easy to work with. She's so friendly and fun, and, so. But I just use the same, the same approach I use in my daily life. I use it in my professional life as well. And so far, it's paid off, It is, you just want to treat people the way you want to be treated. Point blank period. So.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So, are you willing to work with any new photographers in case they hit you up?
Absolutely.
Especially, if they're real professional.
What's that?
No, I was saying, especially if they real professional with their craft.
Oh yes, yeah. I'm always still gonna do. I'm definitely open because. I never try to because you never know who you might meet that could, how can I put it, offer something different. Because if you're shooting with the same type of photographer all the time, then your photos kind of show that, like, okay, that you don't have any flexibility. You know what I mean? So, kind of want to shoot with different photographers. Everybody puts their own spin because it's art. So you want your art to reflect different views and viewpoints. So that even includes, working with different photographers. But again, like I said, I'm very picky, but being open to working with somebody new, absolutely.
So this is a question I always ask while I do interviews. Can you explain in your own words? We're looking up photographers to work with. Why is it important to do research on them?
Oh, it's important to do research on them all the time because, again, you don't know what their intentions are. You want to make sure that their intentions are all, definitely professional. They're not going to be sex traffickers, rapists. You really, as a woman, not just as a woman, but anybody, you want to make sure that you're not going to get yourself caught up in anything crazy, anything that you don't want to do or going against your morals. You definitely have to do your research. Number one, if it's the first time you've ever worked with a particular photographer, never go by yourself. That's number two, because you just never know, because people put a good front when you first meet them, right? So just to cover yourself and the photographer, don't go by yourself. That's always a rule of thumb. And I'm trying to think, what was another point? But that's basically it. I mean, that's my number two rules is always do your research, and number two, don't never go by yourself.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So talk about your first runway show, Escape to Sisterhood. What was your experience like, and how is it behind the scenes for people that on the outside looking in?
Right. I think I loved it. It was like, to me, it was like a high. I don't know if you ever, like, when I've spoken to any, like, entertainer, or it's the same thing. Like, because I'm usually very shy in person, but once I hit that runway, it's like I'm a whole another person. It's just, I can't even describe it. I guess, like I said, it's the best way to describe it is like an instant high, because behind the scenes is crazy, because it's clothes being thrown everywhere, because you're in between scenes, different looks or whatever. So you might have, depending on how many times you're walking, right? So I think when I did Escape to Sisterhood, excuse me, I had like 5 different looks. So between each look, of course, you don't have so much time to change in between each look, right, before you have to get back on the stage or on the runway. So, yeah, I mean, back then I didn't know, okay, I could have an assistant to help me lay out my clothes and make sure I have everything lined up to, you know what I'm saying? So the transition is real smooth to go to my next look. Well, I did learn quickly that you had to, of course, have all your clothes lined up. So me being a newbie, I didn't have everything lined up. I'm trying to rush, go through my suitcase, try to pull things out real quick. So, of course, getting makeup done, if you start to sweat, then you might have to get a touch-up. It's a lot. And this all has to go, and you think, like, weeks of preparation goes into one event, right? And then before you know, it's over. It's kind of like Christmas. It's like you do all this preparation, and then within an hour or two, it's like, okay, what happened? We did it already, and that's it. But I think that's the best way to put it, is like, after that first initial high, I loved it. I was like, okay, I can do this. I can do this. So every time I get on the runway, it's like being in another world, or your how can I put it? Your other person. I can't even think of the word, but like you just become another person.
So, name some of the other runway shows you were featured in.
Like I said, it was Escape to Sisterhood. It was Port City Rip the Runway, Kingdom Connect. I've done, let me see, I've actually done Port City Rip the Runway twice, Escape to Sisterhood twice, Kingdom Connect. Then there was, Lord forgive me. There was a show I did back in, it was like a Juneteenth show I did in Fayetteville. Actually, that was like 2 years ago, because a lot of stuff like slowed down before COVID. So I've done that. I've done New York Fashion Week. Actually, this year I'll be doing Kirby Fashion Week. That's coming up in September. So I've had a lot of experience. It's been so many I can't even name them all right now. But it's been quite a few.
So what are some of the fashion brands that you have modeled in?
I've done Torrid. I have done Ashley Stewart. I've done Shein. Let's see, I've done a friend of mine, she owns a boutique called Siobhan's Closet. I've done it's a lingerie brand. Oh Lord, I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Thighs Unlimited. I've done Rich Girl Intimates.
So how did you link up with Sean Felder?
How did I think he actually reached out to me because he was looking for a new brand ambassador. And he goes, I did my my research. He sent me some information, and I was like, okay, well, so let me see what your brand is about. And he sent me some YouTube videos and some information about the drink and everything. And I was like, okay, yes, I think this is something I can get behind. Not a problem. Like I said, I always do my research before any brand that I that I choose to work with. So I was like, I never did a energy drink before. I said this could be interesting. So yeah.
So what is your role as a brand ambassador?
My role as a brand ambassador basically is to help the brand promote their product, whether it's through taking pictures. I'm constantly posting pictures or videos, reels, TikToks, you name it, making all different types of posts. I try to do at least 2 or 3 posts a week for any brand that I represent to really get their brand noticed. I might post in my stories. So that's pretty much because you're representing the brand. You're the face behind the brand. So people see the face, and you're giving the brand good reviews, and you know what I'm saying. You're constantly putting it out there. So that's what the main job of a brand ambassador is to promote the brand.
Okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
So can you talk about your agency that you started?
Sure. I actually started that in November of last year. I started out as just the name of my agency is called Wilson Plus Talent and Consulting. It started out as just a plus size agency, where of course at first I was like, I was gonna do just models, but as I thought about it, I was like, we have so much talent in the whole plus community as a whole that why should I just focus on models? Because there's more, different types of talent. So I was like, let me just go ahead and represent everybody, any talent that you may have, as long as you're plus size. So right now I have, let me think, I know I have over 20 models so far, last time I checked. Over 20 models on my roster. I have two MUAs, 1 hairstylist actually that I just hired, 2 photographers, and 1 straight size model. Straight size is basically just your standard size model. She just signed on with me a couple of weeks ago. She actually just recently won a competition here out of Raleigh, North Carolina called North Carolina's Next Top Model. So she won Jessica Huggins, Miss Jessica Huggins. Shout out to her for winning that. Like I said, she's my first straight size model, and because this year, next couple of months, I decided to expand a little bit. I'm going to start opening up my roster to more straight size models and eventually children. And I'm also looking for big and tall men. I have 1 big and tall guy, so I'm definitely searching for more big and tall men.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you can always send them over here if you need that promotion and interview.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely let you know. We definitely talk about that.
So what do you say to females that like to model but feel real insecure about themselves?
I say don't. That's a good question, Lord. I had it all planned in my mind, in my head, what I was going to say, because I usually ask that question. I'll say don't stand in the shadows and let everybody else, have the fun. If you feel like you want to do something, like if it's deep down inside you to want to model or to even try to get in front of the camera or on the runway, just try it. You never know, because you just never know where it might take you. Because the confidence will come. Once you do it that one time, it'll come. Because it's like I said earlier, it's like a drug. It's like once you see the attention, especially if after the first couple of photos you've done and you're seeing how they look, when you get them back, you're like, okay, I look like that? Because you're thinking, because our perception of ourselves when we look in the mirror is different from what you might see in a picture, right? So, and then over time you're learning angles, you're learning lighting. So all those things work together to make that perfect photo. So I just like to anybody that's feeling that they just can't do it, just do it. Just do it. Put all the negativity out of your head and just try it.
So what do you think that got them in that type of space in the first place?
Well, I definitely know. I know it definitely has to be society, because over the years, society has been so cruel to, people that are not, especially women. If you're not a size 8, at the most maybe a size 12, they might give you a little break if you're size 12, but more than that, then it's like, you don't get the same respect. Especially in the entertainment industry. So over the years, it's just I blame society, because we're made to feel like you're less than, or you're not as beautiful, or it's all kind of things that can contribute to that. Of course, family, things like that. Things have gotten better, don't get me wrong, but it's definitely a societal thing. You didn't see us in the magazines for years, videos, none of that. But again, it's changing slowly but surely. We're getting there.
So how excited are you seeing that the plus size model movement is expanding more and more?
Oh my goodness, I'm elated. Like, I didn't even think when I was little, I would have never thought that it was going to come to this. I actually, like I said, I have a chance to walk for Kirby Fashion Week in September, and this is in New York. So the lady that started it, Kiki Simmons, she called it the Kirby Revolution. So I was like, So I feel like now is definitely, a Kirby Revolution. We're definitely taking over. We're not going anywhere. It's only the beginning. And although it's been going on for a while, but we're not going nowhere. So it's just the sky's the limit.
As we talked about earlier, it was unheard of back then, seeing a plus-size model on TV as well as magazines. What do you think broke that barrier?
What do I think broke that barrier? I think just overall, people are just finally getting tired, that you're just finally getting tired of not being included. It took that one model to say, okay, or that one fashion designer and say, okay, this enough is enough. And it took one, and then after that one, then somebody else said, okay, we're going to join with you, we're going to join forces, and we're going to speak up. So that's really all it took. It took a group of people. Of course, it started just one, but after that, then more people joined in, and it became more of a group, or more of a like the whole community as a whole finally decided to band together to make a change. Even right down to not just the models, but even right down to designers. Saying, okay, we got to cater to our everyday person, because the majority of women, I ain't gonna say just women, but the majority of people are more than, are not a size 8, 10, 12. They said the average woman in the United States is about a size 12, 14, and that's plus size. That is plus size in the fashion industry. So if you're 12 and up, you're pretty much plus size. I like you think about it. Everybody's plus size.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, because everybody else lower than that is like, it's not as common anymore.
So why do you feel it took this long for the plus size movement? For the plus size movement to be exposed to the public?
That's a good question. I never really thought about it. I would say I think it took a little bit longer because people are still, some people are still stuck in the old mindset. So if you're stuck in the mindset for so long, it's kind of hard to change people's minds and people's hearts. So I would definitely say it really definitely started with the hearts, because if the heart is not in the right place, then it's definitely going to be harder to get people to want to change. Unless you got that heart right, then okay, you know what I mean. Then it'd be easier to say, okay, well let's give this size inclusivity thing a try and see how it works. People were just, I guess they thought it was just going to be a fad, that it wasn't going, it wasn't going to last very long. But again, society's starting to see, well, we need to cater to our bigger people because majority of people are bigger. So that's really what it boils down to.
So what would you like to see more in the plus size community? It don't have to exactly be modeling. It'll be any other type of various activities or talent.
Okay. I would definitely like to see more. I just want to see more of us, period. Everywhere. Even right down to music videos. You know what I mean? It's getting there, but you still don't see as many plus people in music videos or on the big screen. I definitely want to see more of that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What would you consider plus size? Because I'm asking this because I've seen people like a slim person will consider themselves plus size. Maybe they have a little butt or a little bit breast. And to me, I wouldn't consider them plus size, but they would.
Right, I get what you're saying. They say there's degrees of it, I guess you could say. But if you're looking at it from maybe because I'm always thinking about from a fashion industry standard. Fashion industry said, like we were saying earlier, it's size 12 and up. It's plus size. But we all know when we're looking at a person, you're like, nah, you're not plus size. You look at it. Yeah. But I would say if that's hard to me. It's a hard question to answer because everybody has their own idea of what that is. I mean, if your thighs are bigger, if your thighs are are 45 and up, then yeah, you're definitely plus size, you know. So now some women are built smaller up top, bigger at the bottom. You know what I'm saying? So, but you're still gonna be plus size, regardless. If you're over, still again, if you're over a size 12, you're plus size. You might be. Some people say, oh, you know, you're slim thick, or you're what's the other word? Yeah, slim thick, BBW, SS, BBW. Is that the other one? Yeah. So this is different. It's different variables of it, but it's definitely, I think it's all considered plus size. Yeah,
Okay.
It might be different degrees. It's different degrees, but it's still considered all plus size. That's just my opinion.
And gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
So why do you feel men love BBW so much?
I feel that, and again, that could all be based on opinion. So I think that my opinion is based on, because we are, I don't know, we're just better at everything. I don't know. It seems like, I guess I found that we're better nurturers. We're better at a lot of things, you know. You feel me? So, and I think it really goes down to nobody wants a bone but a dog, right? Yeah. Nobody wants a bone with a dog. You want somebody to cuddle with. Like, what can somebody that's skinny do for you? So not much. I think it'll keep you warm in the wintertime, and you know, none of that.
Okay.
Oh, and not to mention the curves. I mean, that goes without saying. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. I'm most definitely right about that. Can't leave the curves out.
I can't do that.
So in your own words, what are the pros and cons of being in the modeling business?
Pros are, I would say the pros are definitely increased how you feel about yourself. You know, it increases your chance of how you feel about how well you feel about yourself. That's definitely a pro. Meeting new people in the industry, that's always a pro, because again, you don't never know who you might meet, and that person might be able to take you to the next level. That's definitely always a pro. Being able to travel, see different places, always a pro. I would say the cons. Are there any cons? I'm trying to think. I think definitely the cons are you come across people who don't really see your worth. So when you're trying to negotiate a deal with somebody, right? If you're feeling like, okay, so I've been in this industry for X amount of years, then I feel I need to be paid this amount of money, right? So you have some people that will try to downgrade that, or, you know what I'm saying, not want to pay you what they feel you're worth. You know what I'm saying, trying to get over. So that's definitely a con. Or people that see it as a joke, that they don't really take your career as, they don't really take it seriously. They sing it as a joke, or you're just, you know what I'm saying, or see it as a fetish type thing. And no, we're not doing that. So that's definitely a con.
So what other talents do you have?
Well, I'm also, like I said, I was getting into acting a little bit. I could sing. I also write poetry. And I think my biggest my biggest thing is I love social media. So my strong point, I really love networking with people. So I guess you could say that's a talent, because I'm good with making, negotiating or that's the reason why I became an agent, because I know how to talk to people and kind of steer them the way I want them to go.
So what's next for you?
What's next for me? Let's see. Like in September, I will be walking in Curvy Fashion Week. Be there from September. Actually, it's a whole week, September 9th through the 18th. In New York. I also I'm supposed to be in Cabo, Mexico next month for an international show, first international show that I've ever walked in. Also, end of July, actually this month, July 30th, I'm supposed to be in Chicago for a Beauty and the Beast themed fashion show. Like I said, just really working more on my agency and expanding things like that. Actually, I'm moving into an office finally, thank God. So I'm excited. So that's all of what's going on with me right now.
So what's your advice for models that need guidance on trying to get in the business?
Okay. My advice would be to give it all you got. Be yourself. Always be on time. Learn all you can. Definitely learn all you can. Don't go in there halfway doing anything. Do your research on things, how you should dress when you go to an open call, how you should wear your hair, your makeup, because first impressions are everything. So you got to definitely be able to make a good first impression. And never give up. If this is something you really want to do, keep going at it. It's not going to happen overnight. Some days you want to feel like giving up, but don't. Just keep going.
So how can people reach out to you?
I can be reached at my email address is plusmodelangelb2018@gmail.com, or at my agency email address is wilsonplustalent2021@gmail.com. IG is plusmodelangelb. My agency Instagram is wilsonplustalent. So I have 4 different ways you can reach me.
And one more time, could you talk about your business that you got?
It is Wilson Plus Talent and Consulting. I started that, like I said, back in November of last year. I'm still looking for. Right now, I'm expanding my business to include standard size models. I already have plus size, so I'm adding on standard size models, men's division, which is big and tall, and eventually a kids division as well. I have 20 models included on my roster so far. I have 2 MUAs, a hairstylist, 2 photographers, and also a model coach.
Okay. So do you have any shout-outs you want to give?
Not at this time. Actually, I do. Again, I wanted to, give a shout-out to Sean Felder. I want to make sure he heard me on that. Sean Felder of XS Energy Drinks. Thank you again for that opportunity to be your brand ambassador. I want to give a shout-out to my girl, Amber Ty Harris Hill of Siobhan's Closet. And I think that's it.